Hi, Dr. Mossi. This is our group, the Leadership in the Global Context. Welcome to our group presentation on the leadership in the global context. Today, we will explore what leadership really means. I'm going to present our team. First is Tulga Sher, second one, Vanessa Munoz. The third one, Nia Miranda. Followed for Amandeep Kaur. Followed for Anushka Kaushik. Then Adit Yamal. And finally, the leader of our team is me, Macario Ruiz. Today, we will explore what leadership really means, how it grows, skills, influence, attributes, behaviors, and ethical foundations that support effective leaderships in today's organization. Each member of the team will walk you through one topic connecting theory with the real world. Examples. Our goal is to highlight not only how leadership is defined and studied, but also how it can be learned, practiced, and adapt across different roles in real situations. The activity is a crossword in leadership. So
let's begin with the first question that we all have. The core process of guiding a group towards goals is?
I know. It's influence.
That's great.
Let me take you back in 1972. A plane with a rugby tree crashed in the middle of the Andes Mountains. The fissures broke and they were stranded in the snow and no rescue came. They soared into a abyss. But among the destruction, sometimes unexpected happened, not just survival, it was a leadership. Not from a CEO, not from someone with a title. They came from ordinary young men who have no choice but to step up. Some organized federations, and other ones made decisions about navigating harsh terrain. Eventually, two of them hiked across the mountains for 10 days and brought help back to the group. That moment reminds us that leadership isn't always about rank. It's about action, influence, and rising to meet the moment. That's exactly where the chapter begins, by challenging us to rethink what leadership truly is. Leadership is defined this chapter is not a title. It's the process of influence and organized group toward achieving goals. I will introduce a powerful model called interactional framework. This model says that leadership is never just about the leader alone. It's shaped by three forces: the leader, the follower, and the situation. Think about, you can be a strong leader, but without engaged followers on the right timing, your impact is going to fall down. On the right moment can turn an everyday person into a transformational figure, like a dad and the crush. That's why this framework leads us to balance three factors in order to become a successful leader. We also explore three common leadership myths. That is just common sense. The other one is leaders are born, not made, and you can only learn through hard experience. This chapter demands all three emphasize. Instead, that leadership can be learned, practiced, and refined through all the study and life experience. Let's talk about briefly about the story of Major Laura Jr., the first woman in USA in history to command an Army infantry division. Her path was not linear. She took a break for the family and returned with courage and rose to lead field tradition dominated by men. Her story resonated with me deeply because in Colombia, I led claims teams in insurance company, where I expected wasn't to lead because my manager didn't believe in me. But another leader gave me the opportunity and I did it through strategy, empathy, and performance. What does it mean for us? It means that leadership is within the reach of all of us, not just someday. It's right to know whether we are guiding on a project, supporting a colleague, or stepping up in a crisis we are ready to shape it, our own leadership. It's just like those survivors in the Andes. Our influence may be the difference between survival and success in our team leaders. Thank you so much.
Move on to the second question, guys. The ongoing process of improving leadership capacity is?
I know.
Can we have a
Yes, sure. So the answer is development. There you go. Right. So the next chapter talks about leadership development. As there's this very famous thing which is said that leaders, they are not just born, but they are continuously refined and shaped through this spiral of experiences. So today, we are going to talk about those leadership traits which are very crucial for the process of leadership development. So what is the difference between a leader and the process of leadership development? How, in my opinion, a leader is just a person who is continuously influencing the team and managing the team tasks. Whereas the leadership development is a crucial process in which a leader continuously reflects on the learnings, gains new perspectives, and then implements into his or her real life as well as the personal life in terms of growth and development. There is this very famous action, observation, reflection model, which we are going to discuss a little later for this chapter. So the action, observation, reflection model talks about that how we can take new actions to engage with our teammates, implement new leadership theories, and also give them the practical approach of the leaders. And then we can reflect back on those actions by the middle stage of observation. So we can correct our mistakes, we can refine our mistakes, and then we can also reflect them and incorporate the feedback as and when it is given. This creates a spiral of experiences because as we all are very much familiar about our past experiences theory, that the past experiences leads to our future outcomes, because what we learn from our past experiences are help us grow in the future. So this is what the action, observation, reflection mainly talks about, that how we incorporate our actions into the real world scenarios is what makes a good leader, and the process of leadership development a very critical aspect. So there's this very famous case study of Indra Nooyi. She was the former CEO of PepsiCo. So she was known for her purpose vision for PepsiCo because she had this marketing campaign strategy which she thought is not working well for the company PepsiCo. So what did she do in terms of the action, observation, reflection model? She saw what is not working well, and then she integrated the new leadership styles and some new marketing techniques in her campaign strategy, and then she observed its results when it was out for good. And then there was a reflection on the feedback which was way much better than the previous ones and for the brand PepsiCo, and therefore it was a successful marketing campaign. I would like to relate this with my own personal experience as well, because in my personal work experience, a similar thing happened, which I would like to talk about today in terms of the action, observation, reflection model. So when I was working for this one company as a marketing executive, we used to send the social media campaigns and the BT flyers every week. So in the same way, one of our campaigns did not function well, and we incorporated some new feedbacks from the customers which we saw on the social media site, and that's how it worked out well. So that's all for my part, and I would like to conclude that the leadership process is not just reflective and intentional, but it is a continuous growth of how you want to shape yourself as a leader. Thank you so much.
Okay, now on to our next crucial question that we have. Practical capabilities needed to lead effectively is what?
Chapter 3, Development Pyramid. Let's begin with the Leadership Development Pyramid. This model shows how leadership grows step by step. This means learning how to balance the people needs with the work hard. It is the first step for someone who wants to be a leader. Next stage is sequential learning. This means learning by leading improve by giving real experience, learning from them, and learning from mistakes. Then comes digital competence, which means understanding your job and learning the skills needs to the field. After becomes relationship building. Good leader make strong relationship with their superior and peer. This helps them work better with others and build trust. At the top is the development planning. It means making plans to grow as a leader. So all these steps will help us grow into better over time. The main idea is this: leadership is not something you are born with. It is something you can build through learning and practice. Next slide is this matrix. This is very important. It shapes your reputation and your long-term success. About 1 day, a week one, or 1 month, next month. They are in the first 2 weeks. Leaders should build the relationship, listen carefully, and learn how things work. By the 2 months, they should define a clear strategy, discuss it at least, and learn them to. In the 3rd month, it's time communication and listening start implementing change. The first 90 days is your chance to build trust, credibility, and momentum. The next slide is the pyramid shows the leaders will become skilled and successful. It's begin learning from experience like in general, a small child group, and building technical competence is also important. Leaders need to do their task well and teaching learner. They also need to build effective relationship with their superior and peers. This means adjusting to different relationship style and being trustworthy and dependable. All these parts work together to build a strong base for long-term leadership success. The last slide is about development in required time. This is the GAP model. The GAP model helps identify what needs to improve. After identifying key gaps, we can build a development plan and clear objective feedback checkpoint. So reflection, count on mental health, keep and lead. Also by teaching others leaders to reinforce their own skills. This message is simple. Leadership is a continuous process. With a structured plan, anyone can grow into a stronger, more competent leader.
On to the next one. The ability to affect others' behaviors or decisions.
I know. It's power. Hi everyone, today I will be presenting chapter 4, Power and Influence. So this chapter is about how people using power and influence to influence people, to achieve a goal, to shape an outcome. So what is power? Power means it's the ability to affect others. It's the ability to influence the people. And what's influence? Influence means using this power to shape the outcome of people. I mean, using this power to make things happen by influencing the people. So let's have a look at the key areas in this chapter. Then influences. So in the influences, there are several types of influences. The first one is rational persuasion, which means influencing the people through the facts and logic. And the second one is inspirational, which means influencing the people through the emotion and their values. And the consultation, which means including the people in all the decision making. Then ingratiation, which means like make the people feel good before looking for an help. Okay, let's have a look into a case study of Ho Chin, the former CEO of Temasek Holdings. So when the Ho Chin became the CEO of Temasek, so many positive changes had happened in that investment company. She used the combination of expert power, inspiration and influence tactics, inspirational appeal and the rational persuasion. Her knowledge in financial world and her relationship among the workers and also the way she inspired all the team members had made a positive change in that investment company. And also when I look into this case study, it also reminds me about one of my experience. Like when I done an internship after my graduation, all students were responded to prepare the reports about our internship in Excel everyday basis. It was really frustrating for all the students. So there, I invented Microsoft Power Automate tool. So it helps us to connect the Excel with that automated Power tool, and it automatically creating the Excel reports. So for us, so I presented that idea with fact and logic. So it created a positive impact in our team. So wrap up this topic.
Standards that guide a leader's moral conduct. I'm going to take this one. It's nothing but ethics. Standards that guide a leader's moral conduct. Our next topic, that's ethics and values. It's one of the most interdisciplinary topics around folks around the world. What exactly is it? Imagine I told you the entire team's watching you, and there's something fudged up in the report. There's something wrong. Do you honestly go ahead, hide this anomaly that you found, and protect everyone's bonuses, or do you report it? This is leadership. It's not about comfort, but rather moral courage. Jesse Jackson, an American civil rights activist, has told us a very, very famous line. Leadership must meet moral courages of that particular name. What is it judged by, you're going to ask me? Nothing, but not outcomes, but values and trust. It's built on vision, empathy, consistency, as well as integrity. I'm going to ask you a very simple question here. What's the best leader you've ever worked with, just smart or ethical? As we move on to the second slide here, we have values. All of us have values here. But how often is it that we just stop, pause, and ask ourselves, how do they drive our leadership? This is where the American psychologist Lukács separates instrumental values from those of the traditional values like honesty or ambition. These values shape who we hire, how we lead, and also where exactly is it that we draw that fine line that doesn't take us beyond. Clay Christensen, a Harvard professor as well as a championship athlete, refused to play a game. Why? It simply fell on Sunday, and what did he say that stuck with us over a decade? It's easier to stick by your values 100% rather than just 80%. This is exactly what it's all about, keeping your values here. Let's move on where we talk about some theories that were brought in here. What exactly is your theories? We've also put them in. Let's look at the next benefit. Would you steal a drug just to save your spouse? Well, your answer is not going to be as important, but the choice of why you did it, that matters the most. We have Kohlberg's model, which is broken down into 3 reasoning levels. Pre-conventional, that's nothing but self-interest. Conventional, that's nothing but whole bit of social norms, followed lastly by post-conventional. This is nothing just by principle ethics. We also know that ethical choices are filtered through 3 levels of it. First thing, end-based thinking. What does that mean? What helps most people? Second bit of it is rule-based. What if everyone did it? And the last bit of it is care-based. That's nothing but the golden rule that we have here. We have emotion is how it's all formed. My question to you is, would you push one person to save 5 more? Well, you might think the answer doesn't talk a lot, but it does. I would want, it does reveal a lot about how everyone thinks. Let's move on. We have a mini case study come up. As I put in the Cliff Bar case study, founder Gary Erickson was offered $120 million just to sell. But what would this mean to him? It simply would have meant that his company's environmental mission and values all sabotaged and lost in the process. What did he do? He walked away. This shows how important it is, how important principle over payout, values over valuation is. And this is something that has personally resonated and stuck with me. When I was an analyst at an investment bank, there was one bit of it where I was able to uncover a bit of financial anomaly in our voting system. This happened exactly at Q4, yes, year ending. And this, I had 2 options. One, report it and have my bonus and as well my promotion take ahead. And the second one, simply say nothing. But I, as a person, always believe leadership is defined in those moments where no one would blame you for staying silent, but I either way chose to spoke. We had the compliance and audit team where I could go up and have the whole bit help us out. But this is how I personally resonate myself through this case study as well. I'm going to also walk you through the whole frameworks used in this: moral courage, rule-based ethics, authentic leadership through value alignment and profit. We've come to the end of the whole bit. I'm going to end this by asking you, when your moment comes and your inborn qualities like intelligence or extroversion is, I know the answer. Inborn qualities like intelligence or extroversion.
Hello everyone, we are to talk about leadership attributes that are the key qualities and traits that make someone a effective leader. I will also give overview of some key leadership theories and approaches. First one is the trait theory, which mainly focus on the natural qualities and traits that make someone a perfect leader. Then we have a contingency theory, which emphasizes that effective leaders depends on adapting to different situations. Then I will talk about behavioral behavioral theory, which shifts the focus to what leaders actually do, like their actions and their behavior. After this, I will explain the transformational leadership. It's all about inspiring change and innovations in the organization. Another one is servant leadership, which is a unique because it always prioritizes serving others before self-interest. Then I will talk about ethical leadership. Ethical leadership always shows the highlights the importance of following into strong immoral principles. And then is the authentic leadership. Authentic leadership means living with honesty and staying true to oneself. And last one is inclusive leadership. Inclusive leaders always treat everyone with fairly, listening to all voices and respect, no discriminations, and making sure everyone feel important and included. Each of these approaches help us understand the different ways leadership can be practiced effectively. Now looks at the crucial aspect of effective leadership, emotional intelligence, which helps leaders connect better with their teams and focus on the goal of their teams and with a strong relationship with the team members as well as the environment of the organization. There are 4 key areas. Self-awareness. Self-awareness means understanding how our own emotions and recognize how they affect others. When leaders are self-aware, they can easily respond to situations more thoughtfully. And second one is self-regulation. Self-regulation is all about managing our emotions and impulses, especially under the stress or pressure. A leader who practices of self-regulation think calmly and clearly and set a positive example for others. Then we have empathy, which mainly focus on how to share the feelings with others. Empathetic leaders are always supportive to their team members, not professionally but also personally. After this is the social skill, which is the final key area of effective leadership. If I talk about the social skills, it maintain a positive relationship and resolve conflicts and communicating effectively. A leader with a strong social skills create a culture of trust and collaboration. In short, emotional intelligence is not just a soft skill, it's a leadership superpower. And strengthening these four key areas can transform how leaders connect, inspire, and lead their teams. Now looks at the crucial aspect of effective leadership, emotional intelligence, which helps leaders connect better with their teams and focus on the goal of their teams and with a strong relationship with the team members as well as the environment of the organization. There are 4 key areas. Now I will compare Anna Poon's leadership style and with my own personal experience. She is a CEO at the Young and Rubicon and at the Kraft, and she was not afraid to take a career break to make a balance between her career and life. And her leadership was marked by emotional intelligence, integrity, and ability to guide teams through the change. Similarly, during the university group project, I also like to pause a group project to reassess and re-engage the team. This experience taught me the importance of self-awareness, the building trust, and which are the 4 leadership principles. It is not just giving orders. Modern leaders need to mainly focus on the three things like emotional intelligence, strong values, and the coaching mindset. Emotional intelligence is just to help leaders to listen and build trust. The ethical values guide them to make the right choices, and coaching mindset means helping to grow others, and as well as not just telling them what to do. And these qualities shows that good leadership is about kindness, flexibility, and always learning. The best learners today don't just read; they inspire others and create a positive sporting team where everyone can grow and succeed together. Thank you.
Here is the last question we have for the day. Observable actions that reflect a leader's effectiveness.
I know. Behaviors.
Great, thank you.
chapter 9, which focuses on leadership behavior. Unlike trait-based theories, this chapter emphasizes that effective leadership is not about fixed behavior. Instead, it's a set of behaviors that involve experience, feedback, adaptation. It also highlights the emotional intelligence and reflective learning. From two universities, we can see that Michigan and Ohio State University made research about task orientation and people orientation focuses. Basically, it means that leaders can demonstrate both depending on the context. From chapter 9, which focuses on leadership behavior. Unlike trait-based theories, this chapter emphasizes that effective. Well, in the chapter, we can see different leadership behavior models. These models provide structural ways to understand and develop effective leadership behavior. For example, leadership grid, it emphasizes balancing concern of people and production. Then the competency, for example, it focuses on developing personal and business skills. Then we have a leadership pipeline. This pipeline highlights how leadership behaviors must evolve from you being an employee to become CEO, or as the chapter says, contribution. Also, we have here community leadership, which shows how leaders, through programs of volunteer teams, can drive to collective impact. Finally, we have assessing behaviors, which is known as 360-degree assessment. This is a feedback that is normally provided by peers, supervisors, and reports. Well, together, these tools help us to leadership behavior, recognizing across different roles and contexts. Now, this chapter also mentions the example of Andra Gore, who founded a trucking company based on empathy and inclusion. Her leadership journey reflects the competency model because of the skills in interpersonal and interpersonal competencies, as well as business skills, and also the framework of leadership pipeline, because she started from the beginning, like from the contributor, to become CEO of this company. This case actually made me wonder about my case, as me are currently being MBA student, and I am aspiring also to become an entrepreneur. It also helped me to analyze and to realize that I am establishing a helping people-oriented people leadership style, which is from my volunteer program. Well, in conclusion, this chapter 9 reinforces that effective leadership is not about personality traits alone, but it's about observable and adaptable behavior. This means leadership behavioral, it's behavioral, but it depends on the situation and the context to be effective. Also, research models help us to understand leadership as assessment guide, which guide us to the growth and make ourselves a reflection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Come here. Yeah, please. Just close your eyes, extend your hands, and
Someone take mine as well.
figure. Yeah.
Take mine as well.
Tell me when I open it.
No, not yet. Now, open your eyes. We want to say thank you for all your support, because we know that you are behind the scenes and you make that everything is possible. That the classroom is clean, organized, and we just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's it. Thank you.
All right.
Finally, great leaders don't just lead from the front to inspire. Who's student people who is behind the scenes. Lead from the front to inspire. Whose student leadership isn't about recognizing only those who stand in the lifeline. It's about valuing people. Every single contribution, no matter how big or small it is. Because when you appreciate people, they feel seen. When you respect them, they feel comfortable. And also, they feel valued to put their best effort on the table. For that reason, we want to communicate is vital for our leadership. Thank you so much, and this is all.